Hello. Welcome to the Cat and Sam show. Sam's out today and we're missing her a lot. But she'll be back soon. And I'm here with Bethany. Hello, Bethany.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here today. I miss you, Sam.
I'm loving that you're here. Today we're going to talk about freedom and the lack of it when we're in those relationships. So now that you're out, what does freedom look like to you?
Um, Free time. It looks like free time. um, I didn't even when I was in it, I didn't think about it as much. But he would time me. I would go places and he knew exactly how long it took to get where I needed to go. He knew exactly how long it should take if I was picking something up or if I was going inside, how long it would take me to get back. If I took 2 or 5 minutes longer, he had to know why. He had to know if I stopped, he thought I might have pulled over and called somebody, or I stopped somewhere, I was doing something shady. He literally would time me. And now I just get to not worry about that.
So, what does the residual look like for you? Because being up underneath that thumb of somebody, it's not just, I think it's not just he's counting down the time as much as if I don't do this right, what happens?
Mhm.
Because there's a lot of, right? Like intimidation, a lot of yelling, a lot of tactics that are used to tear you down to make it so that you feel like you've made the decision, like, well, I don't want to upset him,
Mhm.
so I won't be late.
Or
And
I'll speed, so I'll make sure I get there on time, you know, or I'll send him a picture to prove to him I'm still in the parking lot waiting on them to bring out our groceries, even though it says that our groceries, because they mark it, when you get there to come out and get them. Even though it's marked on the app that our groceries are done and they're on their way to the car, they're not here yet. Let me send him a picture. You know, it's um it's
because
something
you
I still struggle with. I still struggle with it on a daily basis.
and what does that struggle look like for you?
Um, Feeling guilty for having alone time a lot of the time. Because I didn't get that. And if I did, it was, well, why are you in there? You need to be doing this, you need to be doing this, whatever. But especially because I do have a support system now and I do have help with my son. My parents watch him for me when I'm working, or when I'm working on videos and doing this kind of stuff, they watch them for me. And a lot of the times, though, when I get off of work or when I'm finished recording or whatever, I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. Immediately, I have to go in there, or immediately I have to get back. I have to get back, and I don't. Like they're doing great. They're handling it. If there was an emergency or they needed me, they would let me know. And I still have that mindset of, well, what happens if I'm not there within, like, I just got off work right now. What happens if I'm not there within 2 minutes? What happens if I'm not there within 5 minutes? I'm gonna get yelled at, or I'm gonna be questioned. Why did I take so long? I've been off work for this long. What took me so long to get here? But it doesn't happen.
So do you feel that also? I mean, you're talking about your emotions, which is great, but or the way that you feel. Do you feel it at all in your body? Do you feel like apprehensive, or does your body tighten up like I've got, as a response to I've got to get there? Do you recognize that there's body tension?
Yes, definitely. And I carry my tension a lot in my shoulders and in my lower back, which is annoying. Um, But yeah, I notice I get really tense. I actually get really anxious. Um, And I, my brother lives close to us, and so sometimes I'll work from his house or I'll be hanging out with him, and he'll remind me, like, he'll be like, "Hey, it's okay, like, you can hang out, it's fine." I'm like, "Yeah, but," and he's like, "No, you're fine, breathe, like, you're okay." And it's so interesting seeing how, it does affect your body, like, my heart starts racing, and, I just get anxious, like, I'm, like, antsy because I'm scared. I'm scared that I'm gonna get yelled at, I'm scared that it's gonna keep happening or I'm gonna get accused, and I'm not even in that situation, and I haven't been in that situation for a while now, but it's still that mental conditioning, I guess, where it was done so often and drilled into my head so much all day, every day for so long that I physically and mentally have to fight it.
And so when your brother talks to you about that, um, what kind of support does that feel like for you to have that validation of, oh, I can just relax. Oh, I am safe. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah,
seems
um,
it's
it
huge.
almost makes me wanna cry, because it's so different. It's, just the complete opposite. It feels like you said, it feels safe, and, I do feel supported because he'll remind me, like, "You're okay, you're good. Don't you don't have to worry about that anymore." And it's still, retraining my brain or relearning or however you wanna word that, but it feels comforting, I think, in that I'm like, "Oh, wait, I can breathe. I can let
Well,
that breath out."
and that is a flashback. That is a trigger
Mhm,
that's happening because your body feels that sensation, your mind feels like you're there, and then you've got to act on it. And so you respond in a way that feels like you're still there. And so you
mhm,
have to come back in, and having somebody tell you, no, no, you don't. You just relax and chill and it's going to be okay is um it's like night and day, I think.
yeah,
In
definitely.
for right freedom to just be who you want to be in that moment and have that autonomy of, I'm not going to have a huge man in my face yelling at me, sitting on me, screaming at me for doing things that I'm not doing,
Mhm,
or just things in life that happen like this. Simply the groceries aren't out here. And now I feel like I have to take a picture so I can prove to him that the groceries aren't out here.
yeah,
And so, I think so many times people don't understand freedom is, yes, I can walk out the door. At the same time, the conditioning and the wearing down of who you are makes it so you don't want to go out the door because it's a bigger problem. You know
mhm.
what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
that's
because if you walk out that door, then you have 1,000 other things you're gonna have to deal with you when you get back, versus just staying right there and maybe only dealing with 500 of them instead. It's kind of a pick your poison type thing, or the lesser of two evils. Okay, if I walk out that door and I go get these groceries, I'm gonna get yelled at, or I'm gonna have to do this, or I'm gonna have to explain this. Versus, all right, well, he can just go and I'll stay, or we can go together and then nobody has to worry about anything. And we don't, sure, we'll argue in the car, but it won't be the same or the depth of the argument that it'll be when I get back from being by myself. And this kind of, it kind of piggyback on the always a passenger video. He drove all the time. I never got to drive. And so part of the freedom now is I do get to drive. I get to drive, I get to jam, I get to, go to the store and listen to what I want to listen to and sing at the top of my lungs if I want to. And it doesn't matter. It's okay. I'm okay to do that, and I'm free to do that.
Right. It is that. And it, when you were in it, you didn't feel like you weren't. Did you feel like you weren't free? I mean, in retrospect, you're going to understand that you weren't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But,
In the
but
moment, no. In
yeah,
it it was, I justified it, or I just accepted it, just it is what it is, or that's what this relationship is, he's how he is, he's OCD, he's this, he's that. Okay. It didn't feel like I was trapped. It didn't feel like I was in a cage until I got out. And then I think one of my brothers had even said, the night that I left, he had even said, you looked like a caged animal that had just gotten out of captivity. You were looking around and you were, your eyes were big and you looked like you hadn't slept in days and you were just watching your back every second of the way. And now you're not, now you're just enjoying the moment. And you don't see that until you're out of it. You don't see it until you look back on it. And there's still a lot about my situation that I'm learning. And there's still a lot that I'm like, oh, you mean that wasn't my choice? Oh, you mean I didn't actually have that freedom? Especially now that I am getting the freedom to do and make my own choices. And I can say no without having to explain it.
I liken it a lot to. I like to compare a lot of these kinds of relationships because you can have these kinds of relationships in friendships as well, where people are abusive, to a really good friendship where like your best friend, you tell her anything, and she's still going to be there for you. She's
Mhm.
still going to love you for who you are, all your tattoos, and the way that you sing, and the bright light that you are. And she's not going to try to dim that. Where I think if you're in these relationships, um, those things are slowly taken away from you in ways that are so manipulative about, you know, um, they don't like the same kind of music you like. So don't have that music on in the car when they get in the car.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, you're not listening to that music because you don't want to forget to not have that music on in the car. It seems
Mhm.
pretty small, but because of the intimidation, because of the yelling and the screaming and the fights that happen just over a radio station, you decide to let go of that radio station or that those songs that you like to listen to.
Yeah.
So you don't have this, right? And then you get to be in the car and then you get to listen to those songs and
Mhm.
enjoy those songs.
And
It's
discover new music.
right.
I mean, that's
Right.
what's cool too, like, when I did get to listen to my own music, I didn't feel like listening to new stuff. I wanted something I knew that was comforting. And now I just explore. Like, I'm just like, "Oh, that sounds cool. Let's listen to that. Oh, this is a cool artist." And, you just get to it's just back to the whole freedom thing, like, you just get the freedom to explore and to I'm never gonna be who I was before I was in that relationship, right? That person's gone.
Right.
Um, but I don't like to say I'm rediscovering myself because who I am is a completely different person than I was before. Um, but it's really fascinating being able to pull in aspects of who I was before and pull in aspects of who I am now and just put them all together to become who I'm supposed to be.
And
And there's a joy in the freedom just of that.
well, and the thing, I think my last question is going to be it, or yeah, my last question or statement is going to be in these relationships. In this relationship, did you feel like you were a human doing comparative
Mm.
to a human being?
Mm. Definitely. Yeah.
Because you were always doing for him,
Oh,
and you got set aside, right?
yeah.
I mean, you just beautifully said that when you said, I get to be,
Mhm.
choose who I'm going to be, because that's what we all are as human beings. And these relationships want us to be human doings, doing for them and for others. And that's for
Yeah.
another day, I guess.
I
So
love
I'm
that.
so glad you're free, and
Thank
to
you.
to spread that joy that comes from those beautiful eyes of yous, of you. All right, sweetie. I can't wait to have you back.
All right, I'll see you soon.
Signing off. Bye.
Bye.
Hello. Thank you for watching our channel today. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell for any new content, and find us on Patreon and your favorite podcasts. We hope we're one of them. Bye bye.